Hey everyone, this podcast is for entertainment purposes only. Although I am a licensed clinician, I'm also just a person. I love to be able to be in my real life and speak from that point. And that's where this podcast is coming from. So enjoy.
Searching for truth, looking for answers. There must be a way to another day.
What up? It's Aaliyah.
And Joe.
That was shitty.
I mean, you went really deep on that too. Usually I'm just like, why don't you just don't do the new thing? And you're just like, that was shitty.
Yeah. Speaking of, actually, so
Speaking of shitty?
No, but what just happened just now was actually correlates to an article that I just read about.
Damn. All right, we're getting right in.
No, not so.
Okay.
So it's not this one. It's another one. But I read an article about from psychologytoday.com, and it was from this PhD. I forgot his name, so I feel bad. But it was on like happiness and how there's all these like expectations for people to like always be happy or like be like looking like you're in a good mood based on society and everything.
Yeah.
And so when you ask someone how they're doing, the chances that they'll just be like everything's fine, right, when it's probably really not, right? So so the guy was telling a story about how he ran into some guy he hasn't seen, and he was like, hey man, how are you? And he was like, people have a tendency of asking that question even when you don't really even like give a shit.
It's just a thing,
right?
Yeah.
So he was like, hey man, how are you? And so the guy was like, doing great, but like super enthusiastic. So his response was like, damn, this is like wonderful energy. Like, this is great. Like, I'm happy for you, blah, blah, blah. And so then the guy goes, I mean, it's just kind of average. It's not like that exciting, like it's actually just like, right. But that was that moment, how like, I'm just being honest with you, basically. I'm not saying like, oh, okay, well, good. No, I'm just, because the article then goes into honesty and just basically like, okay, we understand that for some things, you're just kind of, saying something that's nice or considerate or respectful or whatever. But there's an importance of just also being like transparent and just kind of like matter of fact as well. But as I was reading the article, I was like, but that's also based on like personality, I feel like, right? Because like not everyone, depending on the personality, is going to be obviously more just, that was shitty,
I still don't believe that my intro was of the caliber of shitty.
Okay, maybe not shitty. I'll change it. It was cheesy. It was corny. Which you are like a corny dad.
Yeah. Damn. All right.
Sorry.
I know.
How are you doing actually with going along with this article I read? How are you doing? And I'm not asking that because I don't care. I'm asking that because I actually do give a shit.
Yeah, I'm doing really good now. Like I think after the whole like COVID thing and the holidays and all that's passed now, and I'm kind of just getting back into the flow of shit. Like I'm mentally and energetically feeling like I'm back finally. It's taken a little while. And also I'm excited because we have new chairs.
That you can't see. No one can see them. Joe is
right
very
there.
excited.
See?
No one can see any of these chairs.
Well, I took a picture of it and I posted it. So at least then.
Go on to the Convenient Truth Insta and you'll see the new chairs.
But I mean, for me, I'm like, wow, I can finally be cozy. We had some like stupid wooden chairs with pillows on them before. We're really upgrading here. We're really upgrading,
Yeah.
So excited about that.
Okay.
And yeah, just excited about this year, really. I feel like this is gonna be a good one.
Okay.
We're just getting started. There's a good energy. I think, my numerology is on point.
Numerology, that just reminds me because I have to use that. I have to I have someone who I want to use that with, someone who I work with, and so I want to, but I can't give you the information. So I need to use your app so I can plug in or use your thing so I can plug in the information and give it back to them.
Okay. Yeah, how are you doing?
I'm glad you asked. I am actually doing well, I'll say. I'm doing very well.
Well, I know
I'm-
You're personally probably fine, but you have other people in your life that
I have other people in my life that maybe aren't doing so well. And that's just there's so many people that aren't in the best spaces. But so that's, tough when people who you love aren't in good spaces.
Is that where you're going to go?
No.
Oh, you weren't even going to go.
No,
oh, you were.
No.
All right. So let's rewind.
No. I'm not going to go there because it's not my shit. It's other people's stuff.
Right. So how are you doing?
But how am I doing? I'm actually doing really well. Remember the other day I was talking to you and I was saying that I feel guilty almost for... Okay, so when people ask me how I'm doing, I said this to you, when people ask me how I'm doing, okay, well, how are things going? I always respond back things are going really great, man. And that's exactly how I say it. I say that to everyone that asks me. Now, I'm being 100% honest when I say that. I'm really being honest. I'm I am really doing great. There's no I got nothing besides greatness going on in my life for the past fucking 3.5 years, really 4 years, and so, which isn't even that long. My life actually, it's not that my life wasn't great prior to you and Soul and everything, but it just wasn't really where I wanted it to be. And then I just,
same here.
and then I was younger. I got myself into really just dysfunctional, unhealthy relationships. Nothing and everything was just right. So I went through a lot of shit, I feel to get to where I'm at. So when people ask me that, I'm really I'm great, but I feel bad sometimes because I'm I don't know if the other person is just saying that they're great just to say it, because now they're bouncing off of also what I'm saying, because I'm I'm great, or if they're really great.
Well, then you got to ask the little deeper questions. Then after that, you got to go a little further.
So this is what happens to me. So at work, I go further constantly, right?
Well, you have to.
Right. So when someone's when I'm how are you doing? And someone's I'm fine. I'm oh, you're fine? So you're fucked up, insecure, neurotic, and emotional? Okay, that doesn't sound fine to me, right? And that's the whole, right? But in my personal life, when someone's I'm fine, I'm okay, cool.
You just accept it. You're just
things are going...
All right, we don't need to go too deep into you, yeah.
Things are going great, okay. Because in my personal life, I'm I mean, if you, if you want to talk to me about something, talk to me about something, I have people that have already sought me out and are basically paying me so that I can ask them how they're doing and help guide them. So I'm going to go in harder.
Right.
And not that it has to do with me getting paid, but at the end of the day, I just feel they sought me out. Now, if people in my personal life were seeking me out and they were hey, that are not then sure. But if you're just coming to me and I'm how are you doing? And you're I'm fine, and you have nothing else to say, then I'm all right, I guess we're...
But maybe some of these people, if you did ask, are you really okay? Then they might go a little further.
Right.
Right. But you just keep that boundary. You're just well, I don't,
yeah, I'm super
unless
firm.
they want
I'm
to.
Super firm with boundaries. So, and that comes from, I'll tell you where that comes from, just to be clear, just in case anybody else has ever had this situation. So when I was about 20, I'm 40 now. So 20 years ago, I was in a highly abusive relationship, and it was very verbally abusive and emotionally abusive. And so it was at that point after that relationship that I then started going to, Al-Anon during the relationship because he was an addict. But from that point on, my boundaries got so, actually, I think my boundaries got so crazy because they were one time, they were here and they were really shitty over here, meaning I had none. And then when I like was changing and evolving, they went
to the other side.
all the way to here, and I was like, nope, 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 right? And then literally, I've been spending my life from, I would say maybe like 31 or 30 or 31, basically, you know, getting it to this middle place, right? Where now my boundaries are. So now I just like, yeah, it's just about boundaries for
Well,
me.
that's
I'm
pretty
like,
common, right? Like if you're on one side of anything and then you realize either something about yourself or whatever, and then you want to change, you usually kind of, you got to go, you're like, you didn't even realize that other side existed before. So you're over there, you dive right in, you know, and then over a period of time, you create a balance between the two.
Right, for sure. Now, if I hear something, like if someone's like, hey, da 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 da, this is going on, you know, but like they're talking about somebody else or whatever, then like, you know, like I'll definitely reach out, you know.
Yeah, I'm the
But
one that dives in.
you dive way
with
digger.
friends and whoever.
You dive way deeper
Because if
than
I
do when it
see
comes to
somebody
that.
that's like sad, and I know that they're bullshitting when they say, "Oh, I'm fine, everything's great," or if I just they say that, and I know like I've heard from whoever
Yeah.
else that they're not great, then I'm as a friend, I guess I try to dig in, but sometimes you know people don't think
Wanna
that that's
fucking get into it
Sometimes
at
they don't
all.
think that's friendly. You know?
Well, for me, I also see it as like, so I get that there are people who need to be, I do think, supported a little more and pushed a little bit more because we never know, right? So I get that. And I feel like in those situations, I'm pretty good at kind of like observing and, you know, like watching people and da-da-da-da and collecting information in my mind and all this stuff that kind of leads me to believe that, okay, maybe I got to do that more with this friend, right? Versus, let's say, somebody else. And so that's kind of how I maneuver. But you're like, it doesn't matter. I'm doing it with everyone.
Well, no, my new boundaries are basically like
Are these your new boundaries?
Well, I mean-
2022.
sure. No, I've been like developing them over the years.
Right.
But,
Okay. Yeah.
but I think it's more along the lines of like if I save that a little bit for people that I know like want to figure things out about themselves, you know? Like I'll go in a little bit. I'll probably go in further than most people with other people, you know? But to go in like where I would love to go, I don't even bother doing that if it's somebody that doesn't really want to. If I know that they're like not really interested in resolving their problems, you know. So then it's just like why waste our time here if you don't even want to do anything anyways? So we'll just keep it at whatever level, you know. But I'll always go a little bit deeper than just the hey, how you doing?
These are
I'll
really new boundaries. These are new boundaries literally since then 2022 and the fucking ball dropped. You know what I'm saying? Like,
or maybe
because-
it's like a mental thing within myself that I just there are boundaries within myself that I just know like I can have conversations with somebody about whatever and how deep it doesn't matter, and then I come home and I don't really it doesn't bother me.
What?
That's the thing.
When did that start?
Well, like bother me to the point of like affecting my day.
Nothing's ever really, the only thing that's ever bothered you anyway to a point where it's affecting your day and your mood is like stress.
The temperature in Soul's room.
Yeah, the temperature in our daughter's room, but is stress that has to do with some kind of like business
Yeah.
you have going on, you know?
Which is
like,
almost correlated to like a soul thing, because like any kind of like business thing that I'm doing is like the baby is like a baby, right? So it's like growing.
just to give you guys, so just in case you're wondering what he's talking about. So Joe went out, so he purchased okay, actually, let me rewind. So we have a monitor, right? Our daughter's 2, we have a monitor, okay? We had one of the ones that, you know, you can link to your phone, blah, blah, blah. It sucked. So we just went old school, old fashioned. So we have the camera in there up on and then we have the monitor that we hold with us. And the monitor has a temperature thing on it, thermostat,
That thing's driven me nuts.
whatever it's called, right? And we have learned that it's never accurate, ever. So sometimes it's 70, sometimes it'll say 80, and we're like, Jesus Christ. But then we walk in there and it's like, it's not 80, it's got to be at least like 74 in here, right?
Yeah.
So throughout the night, I always sleep with the monitor next to me because I like to wake up in the middle of the night and see my kid and check on her, right? That's what I do. Sleep. Okay, so little did I know that this guy does the same shit, and I didn't know that. So what he was doing is he'd wake up in the middle of the night, come to my side, walk around, come to my side of the bed, and then click to see what the temperature is. That's what he's looking for, is the temperature. I'm looking just to see my kid, like how
I know
she's
I know
sleeping.
she's still there.
Yeah, I'm like,
She
is
didn't
she
go
okay?
anywhere.
Is she right? He wants to know what the temperature is. Okay, so this has been going on for a while now. Finally, Joe got sick of it. He went and ordered a actual thermometer thing, right? Separate from this monitor. So now he has it in the room. This MF has it hooked now. It comes with, I guess there's an app you sync it to. I don't know. He has it on his phone. He's got fucking alerts that tell him if the humidity is over than what it really actually needs to be. Because if it's not, if it is, or if the temperature goes down, he has an alert if the temperature goes less than 70. This is this man's life. I just want to be clear. Temperature is your life.
It was my life. Now I don't have to think about it, right? So, so it's this Wi-Fi thing, and it's got the humidity. Well, hold on. Also, so I don't sound like a crazy person. I mean, like the humidity in New England in the cold weather in the winter is fucking
It
like
sucks.
super low.
Whoever lives
Like there
out
is
here,
no
it
humidity.
sucks.
It's so fucking dry out
so
here.
So dry. I'm so gross. My
You
nose
got
is
like
everything's gross.
boogers, like
Hard
scabs
shit.
in your fucking nose and
God,
shit.
it's fucking gross.
So I don't want my 2-year-old daughter to have to deal with that, right? So I got a humidifier for the room, and I got this Wi-Fi sensor thing. Now, it's getting a little bit more advanced now after this because the new Wi-Fi humidifiers for both of our rooms come in today. I'm gonna hook those motherfuckers up, and we're gonna be
And then he's
on
gonna
and
have
popping.
all the
We're gonna have
humidifiers.
no more boogers. It is gonna be great, right?
Like the whole house. We all do.
Yeah.
And it's like a daily thing. I'm like, man, I have like so many hard boogers.
I mean,
Like, so what?
all right. On a serious note, though, like I think a lot of people don't realize this. I realized it a long time ago when I moved to Orlando.
You're not going to realize
that,
it
like,
if you've been living here your whole
Right,
entire life.
you're just used to
I
it.
came
This is
from
just
Florida,
normal,
and
right?
I'm like, what the fuck is going on with my body right
You're just
now?
like, oh, it's just a little dry. But there's a lot of health things that go along with that. Like, you get dehydrated very easily. So
I've noticed I'm so thirsty out here.
Yeah, and you have to drink extra water.
Like fucking
or
chugging bottles of water.
things can happen. Your skin, you'll get more wrinkles.
yeah, my skin is like-
You get dehydrated. You can get constipated.
Yeah.
There's so many things that go
Why
along
do
with
we
this.
live here? It's
And
like
nobody-
really the worst.
And these are probably like common things that like people are just like, well, it's just what it is. No, it's
No,
not
man,
just what
it's
it is.
not what
You
it
can
is.
do something about it. You can
Yeah.
do something. Go get yourself a Wi-Fi meter. See what the actual temperature is in your house. Set the alerts so you know if it's going above or below. And get yourselves some freaking humidifiers. I actually contemplated getting the whole house humidifier, which I probably will at some point. But for this winter, her room and our room is good enough. During the day, we're not here all day long anyways, so it is what it is. But yeah, that's that.
Interesting.
So yeah, I like how you try to make it sound funny, but this is really serious and it's a health
It still is funny.
it's a health thing that's going on here.
Still is funny. This is the worst. So I bought this thing that I'm wearing right now. Actually, we both got it for my mom as a thank you.
Hold on, that's your mom's?
As a thank
Why do
you
you-
for being so amazing, right? So then she left it and gave it to me before she went back to Florida because she was like, it makes me itch. Just, I'm sorry. Da, 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 da. And I was like, oh, I'll take it, So I took it. I wore it once before this with a long sleeve shirt. Perfect, right? Loved it, warm, da, da, da. I'm wearing it today and I have a,
Tank top.
I am so itchy right now.
What the fuck is
all
this made
on
of?
my shoulders, arms, everywhere.
the tag?
We had to cut it off because she couldn't take. She couldn't take it scratching her.
What the fuck is it made of?
I'm so itchy. And I can't take this off because it's freezing down here and then I'm going to be too cold.
Hold on, is David and Melissa on? They tell you it's some freaking cancer-causing material or some shit.
Right. It's probably like absorbing into my skin right now. Fuck.
Plastic. That's what it is. Plastic.
Plastic.
Plastic clothes.
Oh, darn it.
Well, I got my new Zara sweater, which is very cozy and not itchy at all.
Well, this is from TJ Maxx.
Oh, well, you never know.
You get what you,
Yeah, you never know what you're going to get there.
you know.
Speaking of TJ Maxx, we should go there after this to get a bureau, maybe,
A bureau.
for our daughter's room. Yeah. Rooms fall apart. Rooms fall apart. You know,
Yeah.
it's like if you have kids, make sure. Well, I mean, it all depends on how long you want to keep things for. But you know, we weren't really thinking. We were just like, she's a baby. We just need a couple drawers or whatever. So we got whatever, and it's like, you know, one move and it got destroyed. So, so yeah. If you're thinking, I know you were thinking like, or she's gonna have this till she's freaking 15 or 18.
Of course I was. I was like,
And I'm like,
there's no. For a long
I
time.
knew it wasn't gonna last then.
This will be great. And then basically what happened is that we moved from Florida to here. The damn movers, you know, moving stuff, messed up the drawers. And so now the drawers don't go in. So now the first drawer is completely removed out and it's on the floor, stuck in a corner because I don't even want to see it anymore. Now, when this first went down, I had told Joe several times, Joe, we need to get a new dresser. We need to get a new dresser. Why didn't I just go get it myself? Because I want Joe to get the dresser, guys. This is why I was waiting.
And that's why you're still waiting.
Now he's ready to get the dresser.
Well, only because it affected me the other day,
Right.
and I was annoyed with it. And then Sol was actually just standing in
the drawer with her
and
shirts
kicking
in
her
there.
clothes
Yep.
around. I was like,
Just having a
"What
blast.
is this? What is this drawer hidden behind the?"
humidity alert.
Oh,
humidity,
see, yeah, see?
Humidity
Well, yeah,
alert.
you know why? Because I don't have the Wi-Fi one yet. First off, and you didn't add the water, so of course the humidity.
First of all, let's be
Come
clear.
on.
You never told me that my job was to fucking add the water. I'm
mean-
thinking that, hey, look, you bought this thing, you set it up, it's your thing, it's on your phone, it's yours. I have to get it ready in the morning. I got to do this, I got to do that.
Oh my god.
Your responsibility is the damn humidifier.
See, then it's like, now I'm going to have to get all sophisticated. That's why the whole house one is going to be the best, because that's just hooked up to the water supply. I have to fill this shit up every goddamn
How about we
morning.
just get a centralized humidifier?
That's what I just said.
Like, no, but that's like goes through all the rooms.
That's
that what
I
you
was
said?
saying. Whole house humidifier. I said it about 3 times in this podcast.
But like a big one that we have to look at and see.
No. It actually gets hooked
I want
up.
it to go through the vents.
It does. It gets hooked up into the heater.
Oh, is that what we're gonna get?
I want to get it, but I don't know how to install it. So I'm doing some research. So give me some time. I got the one for our rooms.
Oh, fancy. Okay,
Yeah.
that'll be exciting.
I got a freaking garage door torsion spring I need to replace. That's my focus right now. I've never done that before, and I've heard it's kind of dangerous. So
Okay.
wish me luck.
All right.
That's what I'm focused on, and then we'll move on to the next thing.
Okay.
But that probably won't be. I'm telling you right now, probably until like the end of summer, like fall time. I might throw that in. Yeah, because this winter is just not gonna happen. Because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
Okay. Well, what do you want to get into?
I
Wanna
don't know.
get
So
into
far, it's been a bunch of nothing. But
Sometimes nothing's good. Who was a Seinfeld fan? About a bunch of fucking nothing. Curb Your Enthusiasm.
yeah,
About a bunch of nothing. And that shows the shit.
that is nothing. What is going on there?
Oh my God, what's
Okay,
happening?
Everything's fine.
How come I don't see any of the...
It's there. It's fine.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I don't want to go through this, and then we're gonna be done. Joe's gonna be like, it didn't work.
The sound quality's been great. I do apologize for the last podcast if like maybe you didn't hear Rhode Island Probs that good. We're still working on this whole live interview thing through the internet and like the Zooms and the Instagram stuff. Like we're trying to figure out what the best way is.
Apparently
So
everyone is,
it'll get
because
better.
when I tell you that I've listened to Mike Tyson's podcast, I listened to, I feel like
the
Kevin
audio guy
Hart's
over there
podcast.
Kevin Hart's, but yeah, his shit's low too.
And when he had people calling in because of COVID and stuff like that, it was low also at times. So like, I mean, just saying.
Yeah,
I don't mean to
Lucky for you, you have a sound engineer on
put him out
hand.
there. So basically, prior to this podcast today, this episode, Joe asks me the same question a day or 2 days prior, which is always, what are we going to talk about? Do you have any topics? And my answer is always, I don't fucking know.
I don't know.
I don't fucking know. Like, I don't know what we're going to talk about, you know? Like, no clue, no idea. I got no topics, nothing. Then, cut to the day of the podcast, he goes to work in the morning, right? And then it's always, okay, while I'm gone, start looking into some topics, right? So that you know what the hell we're going to get into, blah, 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 but before I get home. Little does he know, I have to do shit with a 2-year-old that doesn't allow me to pick up my cell phone and just browse. Because when I do, it's like this.
It's like
Pictures.
pictures.
Pictures. No, you can't have pictures. No, pictures. It's like this whole thing, you know?
So you hide your phone.
So I have to hide my phone. I have to go like into little areas and quickly.
Lock the door in the bathroom.
It's this whole thing. And then she finds me every time. God. But I did have enough time to actually read this really cool article from Psychology Today.
Hold on, wasn't there another one? The other one was a little bit less in depth than this one, I think. Wasn't there another one?
I already touched on the one earlier. It was about happiness.
Oh, that was it.
And societal norms and all these expectations to basically be happy or to look happy or to feel happy, and how people have a tendency of just not really being honest about that. And do we need to be honest about that? Meaning, does everyone moving forward in this world just need to be like, I'm not fucking happy, right? Or I'm not fucking okay. And that's okay to not be happy.
All right.
Remember that?
Can we go back into that a little bit?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. Because I wasn't aware that there was a connection between that
Yeah,
article.
was that?
I was
Find
just
it.
thinking you were just talking off the top. All right. Well, I mean, you're right. Nobody is required to say, all right, and like anybody can just say, I'm fine, even if they're not fine. Technically, you have the right to do that. But you may be doing yourself a disservice, right? If you're with somebody that actually cares about you and is willing to chat with you about something that you may actually be concerned with about yourself or within your personal life or whatever, right? And if somebody, like, you should be grateful that somebody cares and wants to talk to you and find out about what's going on, and maybe you need to let that, off your shoulders or whatever. But I think that what I'm saying, yeah, I think some people at certain times, if they're just saying fine when they're really not fine, they may be doing themselves a disservice depending on the person that they're with. And
Right. So basically what they're saying is, it says just how culture of fake smiles leads to phony living. Right?
Right. And that's back to the Truth
That's
podcast.
back to our Truth podcast, right? But that is true, right? So how a culture of fake smiles leads to phony living.
Just spit up on myself.
Really then just not being your authentic self, right? And then it says, so in relationships, people feel obligated to respond affirmatively, but it might be wise to be honest if something is amiss. And they give an example in here. And this sounds like, it's like when I talk about these things, like when I talk about a lot of things that have to do with just like social stuff or mental health, it sounds really basic to me. But when I really actually get into them, I'm like, no, like this is like actual like stuff, right? Like it's really actually not that basic to many people. And one of the examples they had in here was like people in a relationship, right? And, like basically just even a simple like commenting on someone's outfit. So let's say you're in a relationship and you come home and you have a new outfit. This happened to us. You come home, you have a new outfit, and then you're like, oh my God, do you like my outfit? Da da da. And then because your significant other wants to be, nice or whatever, they're just like, yeah, it's cute, it's nice, looks good on you, right? But they don't really think it's nice. But they don't want to hurt your feelings, right? So they're just basically like, oh, no, that's good, right? And that was an example that they gave versus just being like, I don't fucking like it.
Well, clearly I don't
Which is
play
what
that game.
this guy does, okay? This guy, if you ever want, like, sometimes I'm like, are other men like this with their wives and with their...
No, because
or
they want
are
to
other
avoid
people
more
like this?
of this, more of the same. They want to avoid
Is it
any kind of
like-
conflict.
Because, I mean, honestly, like, this happened to us the other night where I went to H&M, I bought a fucking outfit. I'm really into the baggy thing right now because it's like the 90s and I live in fucking Rhode Island. It's freezing and this guy expects me to wear like all my Florida fucking tight clothes and shit.
I don't expect anything.
So
I mean,
I came home, I had this outfit. It's the shit. And basically he's like,
Yo, you look like a
you look
fucking
like a
Ewok.
fucking Ewok.
Like seriously, like a big teddy. It's like this,
But like with
teddy
no
bear
like
outfit.
niceness or anything. It was just boom, matter of fact. Like the outfit fucking looks stupid.
No,
you know?
no,
Like,
there was all kinds of communication which you were ignoring because you thought that I was like I wasn't attracted to you or whatever. I was like, listen, your clothes and me being attracted to you are two totally separate things. Your clothes are stupid, but you're still hot and I'm attracted to you. Can
So-
that be possible?
I'm so glad we're talking about this. So what's interesting though is that the point that I was trying to make was that you wear things that I think are stupid too sometimes, but
Right.
But what makes it cute to me or hot to me ultimately is because you're in it. So for me, I don't care. I'm like, you are still hot as fuck, even in the stupid, corny outfit that you got on. You know what I'm saying? Like, whereas you separate those two and you're like, your outfit sucks, but you're hot, but your outfit sucks. So therefore, because of that, I'm not really inclined to tell you how good you look right now because you're in a shitty outfit.
It's a conflict in my mind. It's catch-22. But I mean, it's not that like I can see past the stupid outfit, but I'm not going to not say the outfit's stupid.
Why can't you just... So my thing is this. Had I asked you, which I didn't, but had I asked you, hey, babe, do you like this outfit? Oh, wait a minute. I
I'd be
think
like, no.
I think I did come in and I think I was like, oh my God, look what I got. Don't you love it?
And
That's really what it was.
And I was like, no.
Okay, fine, I get it. Right. But if I don't ask you or say anything, then there's really no point to comment on.
And I don't think I do. And I was explaining that last night too. And I was like, listen, I could be wrong on all these trends that you may or may not be on top of, right? And I'm willing to just, okay, let's you try it out and let's see how things go. And maybe in a month from now, I'll be like, hey, actually that teddy bear outfit is pretty sexy, I don't know. But right now, no, that's not how I feel. So I don't know. It is what it is. I guess in Florida, people just aren't really wearing too much clothes. So it's like, you can see
This is-
past the
this-
clothes and
see,
you're just like, oh,
So
you're
this
a
is
good-looking person.
This is literally the first time since we moved out here. It's been the first time that you actually have seen me in this type of fashion because you didn't know this type of fashion. You knew me living in Miami, living in Fort Lauderdale, where I was like, I am living it, right?
Yeah, but
Like,
I bet you even like a couple of years ago, what you're wearing now wasn't in like this like baggy sweatpantsy shit, right?
yes, it
And-
was.
Fine. 5 years ago, it wasn't in or whatever, right? There's ways.
But what do you mean by? I always have this conversation with you about fashion, and it pisses me off for some reason because it's like, why does something have to be in for it to actually look good? I don't. Give
All right.
a shit if things
Hold
are
on.
in.
Yeah, you're right. I'm saying, all right, look good. Okay, I see where you're going.
See what I'm
Look good
saying? Like,
on you, right?
I don't care that it's, let's say, not in with society. I
Listen,
don't give a fuck.
The teddy bear outfit looks good on you. It's like it looks cozy and comfortable. I would not consider it like hot and like stylish and sexy.
No,
but
no,
I
no.
would
There's
say,
different types of.
all right,
okay. Am I saying it's a sexy
you
outfit?
look cute
No.
and comfortable, I guess. I
Yes,
could say that.
I look cute and comfortable. Got my Doc Martens on with the fur on the inside. Yes, yes, yes. None of that. Okay. Maybe I'll put some hoop earrings on. I don't know.
Can you read that?
I can't read.
All right.
I'm blind.
I can't either. We should like bring our glasses
I
here.
know we should. Okay, let's see. Is it possible we can be secure enough in our own perspective? We don't need anyone else to affirm it, right? Do we want honest answers or false affirmation?
Right. That was a question
Right.
from live.
Yes. Yes.
Eric. What's going on, buddy? Yeah.
Yes. The answer is yes.
Yeah.
Right, but that's basically kind of what I was talking about regarding like the whole fashion thing right now, where I'm like, I don't care if something's in, right? Or if,
Right, and that's what I love.
or if
That's
people
the
don't
part
like
that
it.
I love
I'm
about
still
you.
fucking wearing this shit anyway.
That's the part that I love about you and I think is like hot and attractive, that you don't give a fuck. And I'm the same way. I'll wear whatever I
Right.
want to wear and I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks.
right. I guess what happened.
That's why I don't
last
bother
night,
asking you, what do you think about my outfit? I'm just like, hey, look at my outfit.
Right.
Because
I guess
think it's
what
dope.
happened last night was that because you suck with communication, the way you worded it made it sound as though you couldn't separate. Okay, you don't like the outfit, which is fine.
So then
Fuck
that
off,
equals you are
right?
unattractive.
You don't like the outfit, fine, okay, but I'm still sexy no matter what. And to me, you couldn't separate those two. I can separate those two.
Well, I guess the way that I said it, and but
So then
that's
when I
on
heard
you
that,
though.
I
Like
was
how you.
Well,
like,
when I
kinda-
heard it, which was just a then misunderstanding, right? When I heard it, I was like, my perspective was, so you don't like the outfit, which I get. That's not my issue. My issue though is that you still can't comment on me being attractive or sexy or whatever in this outfit just because you don't like the outfit. Who cares about
can't get past the teddy bear. Like, I was
cares
like, you
about
might as
the
well.
outfit? I'm in the outfit.
You might
That
as
to
well-
me is
We'll
what's
put the fucking college dropout teddy bear helmet on. And that's all I was seeing.
Kanye West. So anyway, yes, but I do think that so like I don't care what really anybody actually like I'm really thinking the one person who obviously I do give a shit about in terms of like not that I would care enough to like change or like recreate my sense of style at all, but you know, I mean like obviously if you don't like something that I wear, then I'm like, oh man.
You are always self-conscious about that stuff because like I'll rock something and she'll be like, oh my God, I gotta go change. And then all of a sudden we're matching even though like that
So
wasn't
this is
an
the
original
thing.
outfit.
So this is a question that I want to actually bring up to myself. Is it that I'm self-conscious or is it that it's my anxiety? And I'll go into those two.
You tell us.
This is how I'm gonna, and this could be the case for some other people. I don't know. So, for example, Joe will, let's say you'll wear something, right? Let's say we're going out and, you know, we're going out for a day and you'll wear, because actually this happened.
happens all the
You'll wear like some white jeans. We're in Florida now at this time. White jeans and like a blue top and like some Converse. And I'm like, damn, that shit looks so dope. Like, I want to wear it. And then I'll have something else on. But then what I'll do is I'll try and move forward with wearing the something else. But in my head, I'm like, we don't match.
And then all of a sudden, just
so-
before we leave, she's
that's-
like Superwoman and has a new outfit on.
So to me, that's not the insecurity. That's more of my anxiety. Is like, we need to match. And so that's why I always, and not always, but for a lot of times when we're going out, I'm like, oh yeah, okay. Because I'm like, something's off. Something feels off and I need it to feel whole. So I feel like we need to match.
Or if we're like if we're gonna go out somewhere where I perceive it to be a little bit more less casual than you do, right? And we'll get ready separately or whatever, and then I show up and I'm like, you know, got some like tight pants on, some dress up shoes or whatever, and she'll be like, what the fuck? Like we're only going to lunch with freaking Bob and fucking Stacy or whoever, right? And I'm like, so what? I haven't seen them in a month, and I want to show them like look, everything's good. Like I want to impress. We're going out on a lunch date or whatever the fuck it is, right? And then that'll change your whole perspective on.
That's what it is. It's also like for me, I'm like all about a vibe. He just asked. He said, "What happens if you don't match? Worst case scenario." So actually, worst case scenario, which thank God my anxiety is not like so crazy anymore. Once upon a time, maybe it would have been like a little, but like all that happens really is I'll just look at you probably when we're out and just be like, "Damn." And then I'll like look at
she'll
your
make
outfit,
a few comments,
and I'll make a comment that's
something.
just like, "Damn, I wish I should have changed," or it'll be like in my head. My thought process years ago used to be extremely like just like spiraling, okay, like obsessive, and I've done lots of my own work really to basically be able to manage that. So now today when it happens, I don't have any of that stuff. It's just a matter of like, oh, all right, that's it. And then like it just kind of comes and goes type of thing, right?
Well, that's good.
Whereas before it'd be like obsessive rumination, spiraling, and I mean like that's all, nothing else. It's just within myself, and I'm just making myself exhausted for no fucking reason. You know, that's basically what used to happen.
All right. Well, I feel like we've taken this to the extent of.
No, I think it's great though.
Yeah.
Hashtag thank goodness for therapy.
You know, I never like.
I'm a therapist and a believer.
I don't think I never even like thought of any of this stuff until I met you. Really, like I would always in all other relationships I just dress and do whatever, and like maybe at the time my significant other at the time would just she'd be internally like, what the fuck, man, why is this guy so dressed up so dope, you know, or whatever, and you know, I was totally oblivious to it.
So right, so I right. So my thing is like where we're going. So like let's say we're going out to eat somewhere, you know, or I don't know where we're going at, and you're dressed a certain way, and then I'm in like yoga pants and a fucking t-shirt, and I'm like, but this is like two extremes. Like now you're like dressed like casual, nice, and I'm like in a sports event, like we're going to a game or something. I feel weird. This is off.
But there have been times where you've made me dress down. Like
I've made you dress down to be on my level.
Throw some sweatpants on or something.
Yeah, I've been like, we cannot go out like this. Put some fucking sweatpants on because I don't want to change. So then he caters to, I guess, my matching anxiety. Basically, that's what happens.
I mean, you know, we both got our own things. Like right now, I have my own anxiety looking at the screen right now because I see your mic levels getting a little bit hot, and
I'm coming in hot.
Yeah, but you're fine. It should be okay. But
everyone's got something.
Yeah, it's just like
that's the great thing about being a person.
But none of my things like directly involve you in anything that you're doing, right?
Bye. Thanks for having you, Eric.
Thanks for having you.
Thanks for having you.
Oh, you said thanks for having me.
Yeah, I was saying bye to him because he was like, thanks,
right.
guys, you guys. He said, keep it going, guys. 3 exclamation marks. I appreciate the convo. I got to bounce.
Yeah, Eric's a good guy. He's
okay, you know him.
Yeah, I know him.
Oh, okay.
I believe so. Eric. Yeah. Yep, that's him.
Okay.
No, we met that's the guy we met on a flight.
Oh,
I haven't seen him since.
Oh, too cool.
It was a flight from Minnesota to Colorado, and we just started talking about like life, and we talked the whole way. It was a great conversation, and he's a great guy, and we've kept in touch. Yeah.
Do you know why I feel like sometimes it's really boring listening to you talk?
Why?
I'll tell you, because it just hit me just now. It just hit me. As you were speaking, I was looking at you and I was hearing you. And when I speak, I'm very like, blah, 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 blah. You know, like I'm like very, what's the word called? Very characteristic, I guess, or whatever, right?
I mean, people on the podcast can't see you moving your hands.
I know that, but that's what gets me going. But when you speak, it's just like flat,
sometimes. You always listen. You get you whatever moment we're in, you're like, you always. I'm like, maybe right now.
When you get into serious stuff, though, and when you get into stuff about, let's say, COVID, which we're not going into, or like any of like your conspiracy things, I feel like that's the time where you need to really boost it up.
I do.
No, sometimes you go into like, like history and just like stuff about like the fucking Federal Reserve or whatever, which is stuff that to you is really important. If you want to get me interested in listening, then you need to come at that conversation with way more gusto than you do, because that's a boring ass fucking conversation for me to begin with. And I'm not doing this whole, well, the Federal Reserve, but no, I need to have like, so listen, bam, bam, poof, pow.
We can have a podcast on that, and I can make it exciting.
Yeah, make it exciting.
Well, I don't know if I can make it exciting.
Because that shit is boring.
Well, and that's it's meant to be boring, and that's why not me. I'm not the one that wants it to be boring.
But jazz it up. You can jazz it up. You're the ones spitting the information.
It's not a jazzy thing. It's like a thing that's taken like 100-something years to evolve, and then
we'll find a way.
Fuck shit up.
How do teachers find ways in schools to grab the attention of a whole classroom of 8-year-olds or 6-year-olds or 5-year-olds or 14-year-olds, or how do they do that? Some of them don't, but some of them get really creative, Joe.
Okay.
They make rap songs and shit out of certain things.
I think it is exciting, and I think there are some things, but like the things that I think might be exciting about it, you might not think. And I could fucking say it like this, and
I think that the way that you say it, with some umph in your voice, just to kind of have little dramatics, I think I could then listen more and hear it. The way that we say things, this is actually a good conversation. The way that we say things, the way that we pronounce things, the way your tone is, pitch, everything matters so much when we are speaking. And it does have a lot to do with if people are going to listen or not. I have listened to people who are talking about stuff that honestly, not my thing, I'm not into, whatever, but the way they're speaking, how they hit certain letters and then their voice goes, all that stuff actually does do something, right? You should know that.
I do know that.
Right.
The thing is, I do get like, I guess, I don't know. I don't know how to, listen, when I'm passionate about something, you pretty much know it, I think, right? When I'm talking about it. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be fucking excited about it. There's plenty of things I've talked about on this podcast that I'm fucking super passionate about and excited about, and I'm explaining in detail of fucking what's going on and flailing my hands and shit. And you're just, you check out. You're acting as if there's a thing that makes you just sit here and like want to hear everything I say, but there isn't.
Wait,
you're just making this up.
No, I'm not. I'm actually trying to think though in terms of like, because I think with you, again, you're very all or nothing. So it's either flat or blunted, or it's like really like bah, and there's no middle ground with you. Which that's a true statement. Yeah. So I think when you get excited or passionate about it, it's like too much to where I'm like, here you go.
Well, also when I talk about things, these are like deep embedded things that into culture, so that are kind of counterculture, right? So for somebody that, speaking of like what we were talking about before, actually we haven't gotten into it, but this whole thing that we're gonna get into, the immunity of the mind thing.
Yeah.
If you've already got some ideas of whatever I'm talking about in your head, and I'm throwing like alternative ideas that you've never heard out, you're already like embedded into like whatever you've already heard before. So I'm just saying something, you're just like, well, I don't know, like, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't, the things that I'm talking, you're talking about top level shit. Like if I was fucking passionate about like a fucking a concert or something, and I was really into like the guitarist and like how he was playing and shit like that, and getting into detail, I could do all that shit. Yep. But the most of the things that I'm talking about are things that most people are just used to doing, and I'm talking about something different, such as healthcare, such as the Federal Reserve is like controlling the money and inflating the economy and shit like that, like such as like all these things that like you're just like, oh, there's too much to think about and I don't really care about it right now. That's why you don't care. Not because I'm fucking boring, not because I'm saying it with no reflection of or passion or whatever. It's because you don't want to hear it.
I mean, so there's truth to what you just said, yes. But on the other side, I feel like still, like, not saying that I wouldn't want to hear it either way. Like, if something's boring, it's boring. I'm just saying that my brain may be a little more open and a little more receptive in the event that it was actually communicated a different way.
All right. Well, I will
That doesn't, I'm not saying that I'm going to be like, oh my God, this is a great conversation and I'm into it, right?
Well, this is part of the reason why, like, I want to watch certain documentaries with you, because I feel like the documentary can explain it in a more entertaining manner.
Right.
But you always say, oh, I don't want to watch that shit. So then it just never happens. And there you go. Welcome to my life here. You just, now you see.
Well, now that that's said...
Well, now that you said that this means it's like you're opening a door that, like, next time I talk about something that is whatever, I'm just going to say it in a different way, and I'm going to expect you to absorb it and listen to me then.
Don't expect anything.
Well,
that
I
would be
should.
your fault. No expectations.
We just
here.
spent 5 minutes talking about it and you explaining exactly why I'm fucking boring. So if I start talking about something in a different way that is important to me, then, yeah, see, you're already checking out right now. Like, you don't even want to hear what I'm saying right now.
No, I'm not checking out. I think someone's from, I don't know, Brazil. Maybe Brazil? I don't know. That's pretty cool if it is.
What did they say? Hi from Brazil?
Maybe that is how you say hi in Portuguese.
Oh,
or
it's
something.
like
I have no
a
idea.
different language?
Yeah, the first word is.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So actually, that does lead us into the conversation that we were going to have today, really about, we don't just talk about stupid shit all day.
Just the first 10 minutes of the podcast, that's all.
10 minutes is the first hour.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I was on Psych today, like I mentioned earlier, and this article actually is the one that really...
Hold on, where were you? On what?
Psychology Today.
Okay.
Psychology Today, that is actually a really cool website, just to shout them out, is where you can go on, you can read lots of like articles by, you know, psychologists, LMHCs, LCSWs, psychiatrists, anyone in the field, and they'll write articles about different types of topics. It's also where you can find clinicians, psychiatrists in your area by zip code. So it's really great. They have profile pictures, and let's be honest, people really go a lot by, I think, how people look. That's just realistically speaking, okay? Especially when you're going to a therapist and you don't know what you're going to get. So what you do is you look at the profiles, you look at the picture, and from the picture you're like, okay, either yes or no. And if it's an okay, then you click on the profile to then read the whole entire thing, right? And then if the profile matches the picture, check. That's basically how I'm sure everyone does it. I mean, that's how.
I guess sounds very judgmental.
But that is the real truth. And I'm sorry, maybe this has some judgment to it, but if I'm going to therapy, let's say, as a 40-year-old Hispanic woman, and I have a lot of shit going on in my life, and I'm looking for therapists in my area, I'm sorry, but if I see 3 pictures and there's someone who, let's say, seems to be like, I don't know,
Just the way they look, yeah.
just
yeah.
older, or maybe someone that's not going to probably understand some cultural, stuff going, whatever it may be. That is the honest truth. I can't tell you how many times I get emails and phone calls from people that are like, especially out here in Rhode Island, because I guess it's really hard to hear in Rhode Island, but who are like, I'm a person of color and I need to be like, I want to be with someone else who's a person of color and I can't find it anywhere. I mean, it just is.
Yeah, no, I was just joking anyway.
Oh, were you? Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I came across this article.
PsychologyToday.com,
Yes.
which is a great site. It's like, it's the top site.
Yeah.
To find a psychologist in your or
I
psychiatrist.
I
in
think
your
it's
area.
great. I mean, I'm on there, so if anyone needed to find me, that's where I'm at. But I love it. I have a
Yeah,
great
no, I
time.
have looked on there, and then you're required to put a pretty detailed
Oh, yeah.
description of like
Everything.
who you are, what you've done, and a nice picture.
It's like a whole resume.
Yeah.
So anyway, I found this article by Andy Norman, who's a PhD, and it is on mental immunity. And the title is "The Surprisingly Deep Roots of Mental Immunity Research. Evidence of the Mind's Immune System Goes Back 70 Years." So anyway, I was like, this is like really interesting. Let me get into this in terms of the mind's immune system and really what this is about. And so as I was reading, it basically gets into, and I'm just gonna like skim through and not really kind of
Read
go
like
through
what
everything.
you were reading before when I was asking you what the article was about.
Okay.
Because like there was like 3 things that I was like, oh my god, and I wanted to talk about it, but I wanted to wait until the podcast, and now I've forgotten.
Okay. So basically it's right, it's over here. Okay. So exposure to week. Okay. So there were a bunch of experiments done back in, let's say, the 1950s is really how far all of this mental immune system research goes back. And so there was a bunch of experiments and they showed that exposure to a weakened form of a persuasive argument confers a kind of resistance to stronger versions of the same argument. They were then struck by the analogy with inoculation. So it says, immunologists inoculate our bodies by exposing them to weakened forms of dangerous pathogens, and our bodies respond by developing immunity to stronger versions of those same pathogens. He did not put the point in just this way, but he'd uncovered the first hard evidence of the mind's immune system, and they labeled it inoculation theory. So just to go into what inoculation theory is, because I also looked that up. So basically it's a social psychological communication theory that explains how an attitude or belief can be protected against persuasion or influence in much the same way a body can be protected against disease.
Yeah, it's like it's the same thing as like your brain protecting itself from some thing that happened in the past, like fear of something or whatever, right? So your brain will avoid whatever. If you're scared of water, it'll subconsciously avoid talking about those types of things, right?
Right.
And but that's been around. So this immunity thing, they just basically put a label on that.
They put a label on it and called it the inoculation theory, is what he's saying now.
Hate
Because
labels.
where he goes with it and where they go with it is, so they showed that ancient rhetorical tricks can induce immunity to new information, even if the new information is valid. Put differently, bad actors can use these kinds of inoculations to hack mental immune systems. And this is exactly what ideologues, aspiring demagogues, cult leaders, and conspiracy theorists do.
Well,
Hack
governments do
mental
this too.
immune systems and manipulate minds. This is why this came to my mind, because for those of you who listen to this podcast, my husband is, he has a different way of thinking that I guess society would say that he was a conspiracy theorist. I don't really define him as that, to be honest. I just think that I actually think his mind is very beautiful, and he just has different ways of thinking. But it caught my eye when I saw this part. Because now I'm like, okay. So then it goes on, because I actually want to get into this more, but it goes on, and it says, how do we inoculate minds against misinformation? That's the first question. And so I kind of want to hit on that, because when I read that question, I said, my first question to that question was, but what do they constitute as misinformation?
I was just going to say that.
What is misinformation?
Exactly. Who determines that?
Who determines
that's the
that?
question.
And so that's kind of where I go. Now, if they're focusing solely based on science,
apparently that can be manipulated too now.
right, okay? But on science, there was like actual studies done. The studies show this is what actually happened. Then I guess if someone's saying otherwise, that would be misinformation, is kind of what I'm assuming.
Right. That's exactly what's happening right now on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook. It's
Right.
like
What's happening though is that there's so many studies for both, let's say, perspectives. There's research for both perspectives, but what's happening is that some people are saying that one of those perspectives is the right information and the other perspective is not. So then what is misinformation?
And the problem is that the person or the group or the entity with the most clout or control or power is the one that is the truth. Because take a YouTube, for example. They make the rules. If you want to be on YouTube, you have to, like, if they say that something is true, then that's what they deem as true, even if it's not, right? And then they just take you off. And then you can't communicate your truth to the rest of the community because they've deemed that true. I don't know. I'm straying off a little bit on
that's
this.
what I'm kind of bringing you back. But the next question after is, can we prevent people? So with, let's say, this inoculation theory that they have and the research that they found, can we prevent people from becoming science deniers or conspiracy theorists? If so, how? So then,
first off, I think that's stupid. Like, why would you want to do that? Like, what do you want? What are they trying to make everybody think the same way about everything?
It seems as though that kind of, this is why I wanted to bring this article up, because I found it actually pretty interesting. So, hold on. So, you have made important discoveries. So, we now know that misinformed belief tends to be resistant to change. So we know that misinformed belief tends to be resistant to change, which that makes sense to me.
But how do we know what if it's misinformed?
Right. So what they're saying, going based on their theory and what's going on, that makes sense to me. So let's say, for example, there was actual proof, right? Or something showing that there's no other life form, right, in any other universe or area, right? And let's say there's people then who are coming back and who are like, there are aliens, this happened, blah, 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 right? So let's say the alien piece, I guess, in this situation would be the misinformation, okay? And they're saying that misinformed belief tends to be resistant to change. And so when I took that as an example and I thought about it, I was like, well, that makes sense. Why misinformed, if we're going based on what they're saying, how misinformed belief systems are resistant to change, because, well, that shit's more exciting. But understand what I mean by exciting. Exciting meaning to have a world, let's say, okay, so we're saying there's no such thing as aliens. There's just an example, guys, where there's no such thing as aliens, no other life anywhere else. Boring. Right? Like, okay, there's nothing else, right? But over here, we're saying there's aliens, there's life, there's this, there's that. That's so interesting. Adrenaline probably starts, dopamine probably starts going. Everything, you have to exert way more energy on that one as well, but instead of the other belief, which is there's no other life force. So when people come at you with there's no other life anywhere, and the belief that you have is that there is, of course this one is going to fucking stand stronger than that one. It exerts way more mental energy.
Yes, but
do you see what I'm saying, though? That's pertaining to that kind of
that
like example.
particular example, maybe.
How about I'll do a COVID example, right? In terms of the world right now, COVID is and I'm just saying this because I know that some people think so. So COVID is a life-threatening virus that can kill you, is harming children, and this pandemic is real, and we are all okay. That's one. Versus the other belief of
I like what you're doing here.
versus the other belief of
it's not.
it's not
It's not that deadly.
it's not that
Like,
deadly.
You know,
it's not
you can
that
protect
this.
yourself.
You can protect
you
your right. The whole nine. Like look, like they've
Build your
said here
immune
that
system.
right.
That's boring. That's stuff you got to do for yourself.
Right,
The
you
other
see what I'm
thing,
saying?
the fear and chaos and craziness.
I mean, it could also go either way, though. It could go the opposite way, where the people who are saying that COVID is actually not that serious, because again, the people who are saying that also have another agenda, meaning they have another thought connected to that, and it goes deeper. It goes really into the media and the government and the manipulation and the this and the that. So that's interesting as fuck. Okay, so then it can also go the other way where it's like, whoa, that's like super big and super interesting and super exerting lots of energy mentally, you know, versus the fact that we have a virus and, well, it's killing people and that's that, you know, like there's just,
Yeah. No, I see what you're saying.
and I'm sure there's
just,
more of like a scientific, like more of a scientific way in terms of how the brain works to be able to explain that. I'm just not that kind of speaker. So that's how I'm speaking.
Yeah. I know for some reason I'm like having a tough time like totally wrapping my head around all this. Like I get exactly what you're saying, but to eloquently describe something, I think you've done it already. I mean, I could go into all kinds of shit of like,
But that's
how
what-
this is
but
being
that has to do with this?
utilized. Yeah, how
Okay.
it's being like that. What they're describing there, that technique or whatever, has been used all over the world for centuries. Mass manipulation. So you know, just like you said, whether it's the corona thing or whatever, they utilize the boring thing, right? Now the boring thing could be the truth. But everybody's just like, meh, that's boring, right? And so if you are in control of things, as social medias or whatever, then and you know how the human brain works, which studies show that this is how they work, then you can easily manipulate them if you have control over certain aspects of social media and just the media in general. You can just put out tidbits of information of whatever narrative that you're talking about, and you know exactly how the majority of the human population is going to react to it.
I want to go into this more too, because there's actually a lot. So the other piece of that is that, so a mind's immune system will mobilize to protect misbelief, sometimes by attacking the better information that threatens to replace it.
Oh, right. Even if it's true.
Even if it's right. Okay. So
Actually, you know, can we stop right there?
Yeah.
I feel as though we're getting to that point. I know we always bring up Corona, but I do feel as though as a global society, we're getting to that point now where people are like, what the fuck? What's been going on? I've been taking all these shots and shit, and I still can't go to the store without a mask. I still can't get on this plane. I still can't go on my cruise. I still can't travel over here or whatever the fuck it is. I've done everything right or whatever. And they're being forced almost to look at the other side because they're like, well, what the fuck is going on? I thought that this was the fucking deal, and now this is the deal, right? And they're being forced to instead of be manipulated and by these means of whatever, they have to come to their own other conclusions. I mean, I talked to my mom the other day, and she's even just, I mean, she was full blown, and she still is, like, get the vaccine, the triple booster, you've got to quarantine for 3 years, whatever the fuck it is, right?
but not like for you to go get it, right? She's over that.
Yeah, no, well, I mean, she knows I'm not gonna. But like, yeah, she still says it.
Huh.
She still says, "Oh, maybe you should," or you know. But anyways, like, even she is now like, I don't even know. I mean, everybody with the vaccines getting COVID now, and then they're I don't know. I'm going down a rabbit hole, but
Stay focused to what the topic is.
Yeah. The topic
So
being
connected to that.
the boring information as
You
opposed
spiral
to
so hard that you forget what it is. So let me go on. So it says here that the good news is that it's possible to inoculate minds against bad ideas. So if good information gets there first, it can make a mind more resistant to bad information that arrives later. Again, what is good and what is bad information? That's my
Well, what
thing about
if
this
we
whole
just take
entire-
an example and we just say information, right? One information as opposed to another information, right? And everybody thinks it's true or false. We could talk about COVID and the information, the narrative. The narrative
Yeah,
is...
but you can't do that pertaining to this theory and to what they're saying because, again, it's basically saying that the mind, right, has a tendency. So whenever there's, let's
Whichever
say,
the initial-
bad or misinformation...
what I get from that article is I see whatever the initial information absorbed is,
Right.
whether good or bad.
That's what...
Once it is embedded and repeated or whatever the fuck it is hard to manipulate or change that, even if it's the true, even if the new information is the
okay,
truth.
yeah, for
Right?
sure, okay.
So it doesn't matter like
it's
whether
good
that
or
information
bad.
is good or
'Cause
bad.
That keeps throwing me off because they keep stressing that, and then my head just keeps going, well, what is good
I hate
and
it when
what is
articles
bad?
is
And
like good or bad. It's all perception.
I hate that word, good or
Yeah.
I hate those two words.
I have a T-shirt that says nothing is good or bad.
Yeah. So studies show that raising awareness of the motives behind the peddling of misinformation can help to inoculate people against the misinformation that they peddle.
I mean, this article in itself could be misinformation. You know, you know what I'm saying? This could be put out so that people start thinking about like, oh yeah, what is the misinformation? You know, and maybe there is no misinformation. Maybe there is like what you think is true. Everybody, and that goes back to our other podcast about what everybody's perception is different. And I'm fine with that. The problem is when, you start making laws and rules to force people to do whatever the fuck it is, whether it's good or bad, it doesn't fucking matter.
Right. I want to say, so one of the things it says here, so this process may also involve stressing that there's a scientific consensus on climate change.
There is a consensus on...
That they're stressing that there's a scientific consensus on climate change.
And that's considered to be what? What are they saying that is in here?
So I guess if someone is stating information that is going against the scientific consensus on climate change, then that would be misinformation because the science is showing
Okay.
that this, in fact, is actually a thing.
Yeah. Even these types of things, scientific, used to be factual fucking shit, is being attacked nowadays, right? With fucking corona, right? Because you got all the scientists and whatever doctors on TV are saying one narrative. They're all saying the exact same thing, right? But then I actually just read this article that there's 16,000 doctors that are actually fighting against, fighting, but like...
Whole coming together.
Yes, they have come together to just state that they are not in favor of like the Fauci program and whatever that narrative is, right? So you have all those people, but they're not on TV. They're all doctors, just as qualified as the doctors on TV, but they're not on TV. So you don't really hear from them unless you read these other articles and you do the research and you're looking through different websites that are not, popping up on your Apple News. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Where was I going with that? I spiraled.
I don't know, but you always spiral. I'm going to bring you back. The last part of this that I want to it says, so then there was a research team led by Gordon Pennycook, who's shown that believing that one's beliefs should change in response to evidence is highly correlated with mental immune health. More precisely, Pennycook's team has shown that when people lose this meta-belief, they become more susceptible to extremist ideologies, conspiracy thinking, and science denial.
When they lose what?
Okay, good. I'm glad. So I usually have to read things sometimes several times for it to really like click. That's just how I
there's the
process.
wording. There's a lot of words in there.
Well, I kind of feel like this is why I don't speak in scientific terms, to be honest, because for me, I feel like something could be described or explained way fucking easier.
Right,
You know,
right,
like
right.
like we don't need to go. Like I don't understand why it has to be all of this.
This is what
like,
we're
all this
basically
stuff.
breaking this article down right now.
Yeah, you know. So it says.
Layman's terms.
Remember, okay, so the team has shown that when people lose this meta belief, which is the belief that one's belief should change in response to evidence.
The belief that one's belief.
should change in response to evidence. So basically, let's say that you're telling. So let's say I think that there's aliens on Earth. Someone presents me with there's all this evidence saying that there's not. Then my belief should change to okay, I guess there's not.
Well, I guess it could.
So that's
It
what they're
just
saying.
all-
So believing that one's belief should change in response to evidence is highly connected to mental immune health. That's what mental immune health is. Well, it's highly correlated to that. So they're saying here that the team showed that when people lose that meta belief, right? So that belief that one's belief should change in response to evidence. When people lose that, they become more susceptible to extremist ideologies, conspiracy thinking, and science
Hold
denial.
on. People are losing the belief that whatever newfound information should be able to change their thoughts.
Not newfound, actual like
Oh, actual fact.
like with evidence. There's actual evidence showing.
Like if a spaceship came down and landed on
right.
the front lawn.
Like that's
They're just
and
like, I don't think.
right. Like, and it's like, no. Like it's evidence. It's fact. Like something that's fact and is something to me that we can't manipulate. It's fact. You know, so there's evidence showing.
So, but people
XYZ.
lose that ability?
Yeah.
How do you
so
lose that?
Believing that one's belief should change, okay, in response to evidence.
Believe that your belief.
One's belief should change. And it says here that when people lose that meta belief, so when people lose the belief that their belief should change in response to evidence.
Oh, I really like let's just try and break this down. It's very simple. When people lose the belief,
When people lose the belief that one's belief should change in response to evidence, they then become more susceptible to extremist ideologies, conspiracy thinking, and science denial.
I guess, I don't know, whatever. Susceptible, okay. But yeah, because I mean, but my
I'm just
thing
saying
is
susceptible
but my
to,
thing
meaning
is
like you're
like
just
is like all the list of the things that you're susceptible to in my mind aren't bad things. They're like what were they? The fucking conspiracy fucking whatever.
What are you talking about?
You said if you lose that belief, you're in you
If you lose that belief,
You're more
then
susceptible
you're just more
to what?
susceptible to extremist ideologies, conspiracy thinking. But what you're
Okay.
saying is that you're like, what's so bad about
extremist
ideologies and conspiracy thinking? So you're on the other level where it's like, what's so bad about that?
Extremism, like, what does that mean? Like if I was like fucking, America is the number one country in the world, that's extremism to some people. I don't know, you know, or I don't know, fucking American presidents going into other countries and creating wars and stuff. To some other countries, that's extremism.
I just want to be clear. Hold on. Extremism is the quality or state of being extreme or the advocacy of extreme measures or views. The term is primarily used in a political or religious sense to refer to an ideology that is considered by the speaker or by some implied shared social consensus to be far outside the mainstream attitudes of society.
Oh my God, yeah. See,
a lot of these definitions, I could literally be like, but I can still ask, but what is that? Like, what is mainstream? Like, I can go so much
These
farther
things
with a lot
are
of
like
these definitions.
made up by like politicians, these new fucking phrases, extremism and shit like that. So that way you can point the finger and say, well, that person is too far bad. This person, you have to, there's this balancing act.
But I
that
guess
people-
if I'm like, okay, extreme, if I kind of go towards like just a basic example, like, because even my brain kind of has like no, it doesn't kind of, it does. It has a level and boundary of like what's to me is extreme versus not, right? So okay, kid came home, took your car, took it for a joyride, and got into a car accident. Okay, so you can either sit your kid down and have a really serious talking with them, what's going on, what's happening, because for you to even think about doing that doesn't even sound like what's going on there, blah blah blah, and then set some serious rules in terms of, okay, well, I guess now you don't get to drive, or now that whatever, right? Or this is obviously, see, this is where I go with it, because I could get really extreme in my head in terms of, right, extreme. Or kid comes home and father really has some exerts some really harsh physical violence on their teenager. To me, that's extreme. Like, that's like really extreme. Like, for what? Like, okay, fine, your kid took a good, that's extreme. But for some other people, for some other cultures, actually.
Well, this is what I'm saying, yeah.
For some other cultures, they won't see that as extreme.
Right. This is why.
So what is that?
We can't.
But that's why I guess they also say. But even still, they say really primarily used with political or religious senses. But then again, what's an extreme? Does the majority of society all agree that a person who is extreme religiously, who let's say is Christian, is someone who? I don't even know.
Yeah. For example, here's an so in Afghanistan, there are people who have grown up generations in Afghanistan, right? Now, I'm not saying all of them are, right? But there are people there, and they love their country. They love the people that are there. They want to protect it, right? So, but politicians have used the word extremists to call some of these people extremists for wanting to protect their people in their country with guns and whatever. So, but if you don't see it from that perspective, as this is a normal farmer guy, he's living his life, Americans come into his country and start like fucking shit up, and he has his family for generations, grandparents, everybody's there. He has no choice but to stand up for them and protect his livelihood, right? So he becomes an extremist according to the eyes of politicians and or
to the definition.
And if they're on the other side of the world, and we don't forget Afghanistan, it could be any country that we invade or wherever, then the politicians can say, those are extremists.
Actually, hold on one second. I just had a thought. So, extreme in terms of what's considered to be extreme or people who are extremists. So let's say I live in Afghanistan, right? And I am someone who is born there, from there, raised there. And they handle things in a different way. And I see it as I grow up. I know it. I get it. But I still myself am like, that shit is like way too much, like way too serious, right? Like, so then in that situation, then in terms of, let's say, what Afghanistan chooses to do when it comes to punishment or any consequences, right? I guess then if the people in Afghanistan or in a certain country or place as a collective whole are all like, this shit's kind of like, then I'd be like, okay, that's extreme. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, what I'm trying to say is the word extremist is utilized as a tool to do all these things where they embed these ideas into people's heads, whether they're true or false, right? And then down the road, they just say, extremist, right? Like think about this. I like to do history stuff in American history, right? So like George Washington, Benjamin Franklin, Thomas Jefferson, all those guys at that time, because you have to think about the time period, right? Mm-hmm. British were in control. We're in a war. They're trying to come over here and take over the colonies, and we're like, no, we want to separate or whatever, right? Yeah. So those individuals that created the country that we live in, that the rules that we follow currently today, the U.S. Constitution, right? Those people were all considered extremists and terrorists. The reason why they were labeled that was so British people, I mean the British kings or whatever, they could tell their people in Europe, we have extremists over there and terrorists, when in fact they're just trying to defend what they've built in America, you know. But people in Europe that didn't go to America at that time, they don't know.
Right.
It's so far.
Right.
They only know what the king's saying. The king's saying that these guys are extremists. Okay, so that their truth becomes that. Now, even if they know, even if maybe some of them, the only way that they would actually convert that to a truth that they're not extremists is if they've traveled across the fucking ocean over to America and talked to somebody and they said, listen, this is what's really going on. We're just fucking here trying to protect. Look at what we built. This is fucking amazing. We can do freedom of fucking religion and all this other shit. And that's the only way. So that's an old school example. But nowadays, it's like, it's just, we all sit in our houses and we don't talk to each other. Right. So the politicians said on TV, they're like, we have domestic extremists, we have foreign extremists, blah, 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 blah. Right. And their narrative is like trying to keep fear. And because most people don't travel around and communicate properly with people, they only see what they see on the news or social media or whatever, then they just say, well, extremists, they said it's extreme. All right, so that's the new narrative. This is what I'm supposed to think. I think that anybody protecting their whatever is, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's how governments and politicians use fear through these methods
Through
that you've described here.
the inoculation theory?
Yes.
Okay. I had no idea that was even what you were talking about. I was like, I don't know what the fuck he's talking about, but all right. Okay.
Did I bring that back?
Well, now you did, yeah. But you lost me, and so for a while I was like,
Also,
I have no idea where this is going.
In that, while I was explaining that story, and I should have prefaced it, I was overemphasizing. I was speaking with tone and
oh shit,
and you zoned out. You don't even know what the fuck I just said for the past 3 minutes, do you?
Joe, there was so much that came out of your mouth.
And this is what I'm talking about. Listen, I don't blame you.
Because for me, we were talking about extremism and like what is extreme, what isn't, blah, blah, blah. And then you went off on this whole thing. And I guess when it went into the history, yeah, I guess that's when you lost me.
Yep, doesn't matter how I talk.
It doesn't matter how
there
you
we
talk.
go.
Oh, damn.
There we go.
You got me. Shit.
There we go. I hope there was at least one person on the other end of this that did hear what I was saying.
They have to hear this from beginning to end.
Yes.
To really get that full
And this
circle.
is why I enjoy our long form podcast, because you literally got to listen to the whole fucking thing to even understand what we're saying by the end, I think.
Yeah, we're like Kevin Hart.
It's hard to take clips out.
We do a podcast like Kevin Hart does comedy.
Yeah, you got to listen to the whole show.
Whole thing. There's a story. There's a story at the end. He's gonna wrap it around.
Yep, yeah. I just wrapped it back up into this.
Damn, that was good.
And like I said, I think that even that article, who wrote that article?
Excuse me. Who wrote that article? Let's see. I believe it.
I'm assuming a psychiatrist.
Yeah, he's a PhD. Dr. Andy Norman, PhD, on mental immunity. That was what we were talking about. That was the topic.
Right, and then, there's all kinds of things you could do if you really cared. You could go into his history, who he's linked to. Does he have any political connections? Has he gotten any money for some other programs that he's done or studies or whatever from Pfizer or whoever else, some other influential people that want a narrative to be pushed via Psychology Today?
I mean, now we're going into.
It's not conspiracy. It's like, but nobody wants to go into the truth. I'm not saying that he did.
And this misinformation.
I would have to look into it. But this is how you find out. But nobody ever wants to do that shit. Nobody would even fucking read this article and then have a fucking hour-long podcast about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so most people, first off, most people won't read the article. Then the small
Wait, most people wouldn't read that?
Well,
even
then
just the mental immunity.
I'm talking about like the 350 million people in America. Like,
I guess, yeah.
Like 98% of the population is not reading this, right?
Yeah, I was
and
like,
then
so
out of the freaking 2% that may read it or may see the headline and just read the headline and see the monkey on there, then you gotta siphon through that, and you got maybe 1% will actually read the whole article all the way through, and then 1% of that will actually talk to somebody else about, you know what I'm saying? And then you're getting down to a fraction of fucking people. And then you got us who will sit here and have a whole fucking podcast on this fucking article and go into the history of America.
They got good stuff. I feel like this is why I don't have any literature out on like mental health stuff, because I, first of all, will not speak in scientific terms.
maybe we need to put out.
I'm just gonna be like, look, like this is because I get everything he's saying, but I honestly feel like I could have said that in a paragraph.
See, the other thing is these people, these doctors or the Norman or whoever who's writing this, he's not trying to just really, for the most part, talk to the normal fucking person.
Well,
he's talking
I don't know,
to you,
actually,
clinicians.
No. I don't know, though.
Actually,
that's
other
a good
doctors.
question. I don't know, because anyone can access these. So when you go on to, actually, it's a good question. When you go on to psychologytoday.com, okay, you have a main page that comes up. When that page comes up, it's a page where, bam, they give you the top posts from clinicians, psychiatrists, therapists from January 15th to the 21st. Then you can find a therapist. Then when you go down, it's all the articles and everything that's been posted based on different categories from different people.
Well, then you'd have to understand.
So really anyone can really...
Yeah, but then you'd have to understand what types of people. I mean, there's people going to psychology today for mental help. And they're doing what we described before. They're going, they're searching for a therapist.
Right.
They're looking at them or whatever. They're not, for the most part, probably reading the articles. I wonder who is reading the articles. Most likely clinicians and other psychotherapists, right? So he's talking to you guys.
But then at the same time, though, there's so much stuff in here that I feel like they're not talking to us, because it's like how to manage runaway emotions. How does vagus nerve stimulation reduce PTSD symptoms? Now that's interesting to me. Is it vagus?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know what a vagus nerve is, but I'm interested to understand how it reduces PTSD symptoms. Yes. You know.
Yeah. I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say is, you know, I don't know what I'm trying to say.
Oh my God.
Everything spirals. Everything goes into like something. Like the guy didn't write the fucking thing for free, you know, or maybe he did, quote unquote. I don't know.
Probably not.
Probably not, right? Like,
I mean, to even be a part of Psych Today, we have to pay a fee. So.
Right. So,
but it's a great website, and I love them.
Anyways, yeah, that was interesting, but to me it just seemed. Finally, we'll just like break down what the fuck we just talked about. I don't even know. I lost myself.
Mental immunity. That was the whole thing.
But yeah, it's this has totally confused me today.
You just like very like.
You know why? Right, because I had 2 fucking drinks last night and I haven't drank in a month.
Oh my God! You blame every time you're off or whatever or weird. You're always like, "Well, I had a drink a month ago, so that maybe was it."
That's it. I had 2 drinks last night. Espresso martini even. So then I was up late. I can't even think straight. I still get fucking jitters.
Well. We're going to wrap this up.
Yeah, I have things I want to talk about it. Like I'm trying to like conclude this
You're-
fucking thing,
you're-
but I can't even like wrap my head around anything.
You're weird.
It's whatever.
If you want to read the article, go on to psychologytoday.com. The article's there. They have actually lots of other articles that are really amazing too. If you're interested, that is where you go. And
Oh yeah, that what I was gonna say was, it sounded to me is this what they were just doing was fucking putting a label on it, like, because anything.
you do know that that's a lot of what that there's labels in my field, right?
Yeah, I don't understand that. You get
Lots of
actually,
labels. We
yeah.
got lots
the
of
mental
theories.
health
We got lots
area
of
has
theories,
way
lots of-
too many labels. It's
lots of
like
diagnoses,
this is
lots
what
of
you
this.
were, this is what you did, or this is who you are, or whatever. Like fuck all that shit. Everybody's an individual. Everybody's different. Everybody has their own things, and it might not even have a fucking name for it, right?
That this is going to go into a whole other conversation that I'm going to stop myself on because we can talk that in another podcast. So.
Yeah.
All right, guys, I'm gonna head out. Happy Saturday for us today.
Probably won't be seeing this till
You won't
Monday or
be seeing
Tuesday.
this or hearing this until later in the week
So happy Monday or Tuesday, whatever day
once
it
you
is
hear
now.
it. Thanks for listening. Thanks for popping on, even just for a minute or whatever. Check us out, and we'll see you guys soon.
Peace.
Bye.